Hi, thanks for joining me today. I have this adorable picture of these flowers with my little cat hidden behind the flowers. And she just loves flowers, so I wanted to do a one-page layout to show how much she loves flowers. I thought it would be fun to incorporate this illustration of faith, seed of faith, a paper that's a 6x8 paper pad into my layout. The flowers are pretty, but they're kind of busy. I like the music notes, but that just doesn't go with the theme. It's double-sided. I sort of like that pink, but let's see what else we have in the paper pack. Oh, I love this lighter pink. I think I will incorporate that sheet. And I love the leaves on here. It goes with just the flowers. So I'm going to incorporate those 2 pages onto this layout. So how I think I want to do this with the 6x8 layout is I'm going to use the pink paper as the mat for my photo. I've already matted it on a piece of white cardstock, and then I am going to cut a strip of this green paper to go across the layout. I decided to cut a 2.5-inch strip, and I think I will tuck it underneath the pink paper. I want to stamp my title, and I believe I will use this stamp set by Reverse Confetti and use You Make Life Beautiful, because she does make it beautiful and the flowers are beautiful. I have gotten out my Misty tool. I love to use this to do my sentiments because normally I like to stamp them 2 or 3 times to get an impression. I love this saying because it really made life beautiful, watching her enjoy the flowers and also receiving the flowers from my husband. So that it just pairs so well together. I like when you can make a saying and it pairs just perfectly. I am using a little cube from Paper Tray ink. I'm pulling in a 3rd color into the layout that I found in the flowers, and it's a brighter pink because I wanted to make this a colorful layout. My cat has loved flowers, and every time that my husband gets me flowers, she thinks the flowers are for her. So she has a favorite spot that she sits in our living room, and my husband likes to put the flowers on the floor near that spot. He makes sure that the flowers he buys me does not have anything that would make her sick, because he knows she thinks those are her flowers. So we share the flowers with her each time. And she has done this since she was a kitten. It is just absolutely adorable. I'm also using a lawn fawn mat chamois to quickly wipe this off. One of the ways you can dress up a page is to use a punch. I am using a border punch here to create a scallop border on this plain paper. I think it takes the plain paper up a notch. It ties in the flowers that are in the picture. You can do this with any kind of punch to add a little pizzazz to your layout. I think it's really pretty, and it also ties in the saying that I have for this layout. Now you could also use punches to create embellishments, so remember that whenever you're creating a scrapbook layout. I decided to use dies to make some embellishments for this layout because I didn't really have anything to go with this and I didn't want to use flowers. So I pulled out the colors within the photo to make the embellishments. So when you're making your embellishments, you can use colors within your paper as well as colors within your photo. And I want to space out these hearts so that the saying is a dividing line and the colors are on the opposite sides and not together. I think this helps make the layout. Then also I think the white space is just too much on this layout, and I decided that I better pull in some pattern paper. I pulled in this polka dotted paper from Bloom and Grow. It's a fancy pants design, and I'm going to cut 1/2 inch off of 2 of the sides, and that will give me a 1/2 inch border all the way around to work with, and we'll see how this looks for my layout. But I really like it because it brings in many of the different colors on my layout and just adds a little more interest to the layout. Another suggestion is to pull in a pop of color. I want it more yellow. I've used this yellow cube to go around the title and just add a little bit of color. You could even do this on other paper if you want to pull in a pop of color. I really like it. It just is very subtle. And I'll use my T-ruler to put down this title. I'm sometimes not good about putting things straight on a layout if I want them straight. Also, remember when you're placing your embellishments on the page, don't put pink like against pink. Kind of move the colors around and space them out so that you have those pops of color. One of the ways that you can embellish your page is by using dewdrops. I use dewdrops on my cards, but I thought I'm going to put these dewdrops on this layout. You could also use sequences or any other kind of little embellishment that you would use on cards to put on your scrapbook layout. And I am putting these over different dots on the page. I'm also making sure they're odd number, and once the glue dries, which is clear, it'll just pop out a little bit of that color on the page so subtly. I do like this because I think it makes the page look a little bit more feminine. Now, I don't do well with this pickup stick, I'll be honest with you. I watch a lot of people, they're really good at it. I tend to not do well with it and have to use my hands as well as the stick. Just one of those quirks that we all have. But anyway, to get back to your embellishments, look at the different supplies that you have and you can create just a beautiful layout. I have taken strips of paper that are just 1/4 inch. I wrote in my own handwriting about this Mother's Day, and I'm going to put these down and trim them off. You can just type this out on a typewriter, space it out so that you can cut your own strips, but I just like to add my own handwriting to the page because I know my family will recognize it, and I hope that in generations to come they'll be able to recognize the handwriting. So that's just a tip. This is just plain white cardstock, and I'm kind of going to stagger it on the page, and it was just a short, sweet embellishment for the page, and I think it doesn't take away from the story being told on the page either. I hope you like this video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. I hope this gave you some inspiration, and I will see you next time. Thanks again for watching my video. Here's a suggestion from YouTube that you may be interested in. Have a wonderful day.